You constantly distracted? Is your spouse, friends, colleagues telling you that you didn't hear what they said or you're not paying attention? If you want to improve your focus quickly, watch this video. My name's Natalie Baker. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and neurofeedback trainer. And I was inspired to do this video because I watched a fellow almost get hit by a car yesterday staring at his phone as he was crossing the street. We all are driven to distraction, to quote the famous ADHD book. But these days we are seduced continuously by these smartphones. And so, number one thing that you can do to increase your focus is to limit the time that you are on your smartphone. So, to give yourself a period of time to do it consciously, to pick it up, to know that you're picking it up, to know how long you're going to be looking at it, and then to put it away when you need to focus on another task. So, intervention number 2 is do one thing at a time. The research is pouring in that when we try to multitask, we're actually not multitasking, and we're also not doing a better job, and we're not more efficient. So the research is showing doing one thing at a time is the most efficient and effective, and it's also a way to decrease what we do as our regular practice, which is to constantly have our attention switch from thing to thing to thing, which happens when we look at a smartphone. So the next thing to do is to allow yourself to break down tasks into bite-sized pieces. So a lot of people who have a belief that they can't get things done, they can't get organized, it's because they see everything just as one big huge mountain in front of them. And so then they go into a freeze response because it's overwhelming and it's, you can't climb over that huge mountain. And so then they distract themselves again and continue to not be focused and also to not get things done. So when you find yourself seeing what you have to do as this huge number of things, ask yourself, well, what's the next small bite-sized thing I do? And then what's the next thing after that and the next thing after that? And if you're someone who gets triggered by long lists, just write down the next 3 things you need to accomplish so that you have this practice of being able to do things in small pieces that are manageable and then move on to the next. So the next intervention is to really prioritize your sleep. Because if you are sleep deprived, you are so much more easily going to be distracted. It's very hard to focus when we're sleep deprived. And so if you're sleeping 6 or less hours a night, please work on 15-minute increments to slowly build yourself up to 7 to 8 hours a night. That makes a huge difference in our ability to focus and not be distracted. The other thing is exercise. So regular exercise is a very good thing. In fact, a study just came out that if you work for 20 minutes and then do 1 minute of exercise, like doing simple little squats, and then sit down to work, your cognitive function and your focus is much better. But in general, to make sure that you're getting good exercise, heart rate up 3 to 5 times a week. And then lastly, I want to talk about an intervention that does cost money. It's called neurofeedback brain training. And part of what we're working on is we're getting that limbic brain to shift and function differently than it has in the past. And so neurofeedback is the way that we directly communicate with that distracted, impulsive brain so it can see that it's stuck in that patterning and preventing it from being able to make good decisions, use its energy effectively, keep itself safe in the present moment, And so doing a series of neurofeedback brain training sessions, I usually recommend 2 months, a couple times a week, to help really get that brain back into focus mode. So please work on these practices to help yourself come back into focus. The brain is plastic, it can change, but we have to practice doing something different. So please subscribe. We have lots of videos coming out to help your brain health and wellness.